All right, Mike Storey, back in the building. Little technical issue here. So we were chatting about that line.
I got the stream up here, so I'm going to keep an eye on it just to make sure that everything looks good. But I've been talking into the void for the past 10 minutes, talking to myself here.
So we were talking about the line and how surprised you were that it was -5. And I think, is it because Vegas is trepidatious about the fact they got their clocks cleaned from that Broncos game? Everyone had the Broncos +5.5. They set it too high, and the weather came in. And they're scared of doing the same thing as making it like a 2.5. Typical, these Super Bowls are like -2.5. And this is -5. Open at -5.
I mean, I'd like to go back and look at the historical spreads. So I did stumble across something interesting. So since 2009, underdogs of 4 points or more are 4-0 straight up in the Super Bowl. So last team that was had a spread that high and actually won was the 2008 Cardinals. Remember that? Cardinals versus the Steelers? The Cardinals ended up covering the spread. Completely meaningless. It just shows you how.
That was a James Harrison game, right?
Yeah, where he returned that touchdown.
Yeah,
99 yards or whatever. But it just goes to show that how razor thin these margins are and how difficult it is to actually price these lines properly, especially like a team with New England I think the bookmakers are a little trepidatious about setting a line too heavy of a underdog for them because they've won a ton of games this year, right? But they haven't really been tested over the 20 weeks that they've been playing. So that 4.5 line kind of seems about right. I think it got bet down from 5 to 4.5 so far. This team, this New England team, that kind of reminds me of the 2001 New England team. If you remember them, good defense, ton of offseason signings. Bill Belichick was a second-year coach. They had an unproven quarterback, and everything kind of came together for. They started out slow. They didn't have a good year the year before. It really kind of reminds me of that, and just everything has been going right for them all year long.
Before we get into this game too deep, let's talk about how they got there, right? Let's start with the Rams game because that was a real football game. The Denver game was really wacky, and I know you have some words to say about Sean Payton, your best buddy there. So I was saying to Ray last night that these were the clear two best teams in the league. All year they were 1 and 2 in point differential, the Rams and the Seahawks, and every mistake that the other team made, they capitalized right away, right? You had the fumble by Xavier. And then next play, Sam Darnold touchdown. You had that stupid taunting penalty on Seattle. Next play, 40-yard Puka touchdown. Like, it was literally who had the ball last wins. And then the one, what is your take on the field goal? I want to hear your opinion on the Sean McVay passing up the field goal. 5:20 left, 3 timeouts. Seems like a lot of time, but this was an up and down game. You're going for that on, it was 4th and 4?
Yeah, I would go for it. I mean, a field goal, yes, you can then win the game with another field goal, but their defense wasn't stopping anything. So I think you needed to get back into the lead, put some pressure on the Seattle offense and give your defense a little bit of breathing room there, right? Because if you kick a field goal, you've got to get it. You've got to make a stop. You have to make a stop. If you go up ahead, you're still trying to make a stop, but I think the mentality is a little different. I'm not sure why he's getting so much flack. Taking a field goal that late in the game when you're still down, like to not take the win or tie the game, doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I think it was the right call.
The point is they didn't end up getting the ball back. So, like, that was the right call just based on what happened, right? Like, hindsight was the right call. My big gripe, I was thinking about this today, was when they scored to make it a 4-point game, 5-point game with like 3:20 left in the third quarter. I was thinking go for 2 there. And I understand why you don't go for 2. A lot of time left in the game. And then if the Seahawks kick a field goal, you're only down 7. But if you don't get it and they kick a field goal, you're only down 8. So you have to go for a 2 eventually. I feel like in that game, that would be the play, to go for 2 in that situation. Now, I guess the counter to that is you saw them kind of struggle in the green zone area, in the red zone area, especially goal line area. And he didn't like that matchup against the Seahawks defense. But would you have gone for 2 there to cut it to 3?
I would have, yeah. I think he was aggressive when he needed to be, but not aggressive in other spots. So that was one where I really thought they should have gone for 2 there. But they couldn't run the ball inside the green zone and the red zone. The running game,
that's the problem.
Yeah, that was a huge problem. Offensive line played well. They played a ton of 3 tight end sets, ton of 2 tight end sets. They did everything they needed to do right on the offense. They just couldn't generate the pressure up front to open up the holes for either Kyron Williams or Blake Corum. The fact that Matthew Stafford had to scramble for 16 yards in this game is a mind-blowing statistic.
God, so I had Sam Darnold as one of my 4 plays, and it was over 5.5 rushing yards. And he got it, but he didn't get it till early in the fourth quarter on like a 14-yard scramble. But I'm watching the game, and of course, in the third quarter, Darnold's sitting at 0 yards rushing, and fucking Matt Stafford has a 13-yard carry. I'm just like, what is this world coming to? Like, fuck my ass, because that line was set at 0.5 and it was like plus 140, which again, he had 2 scrambles too. But how about Sam Darnold? Can we give some flowers to Sam? And how pissed are Minnesota Vikings fans right now watching this?
They're not thrilled. Not thrilled. I mean, everybody who's
but now that was a great game. I know the Rams defense has its questions, but that was an all-time performance, man. And like, it's not like he's throwing to JSN, all-time talent. He's elite. Outside of JSN, you have Rashid Shaheed, the corpse of Cooper Kupp, AJ Barner. Like, you don't have much. You're missing Zach Charbonnet. You don't exactly have an elite offensive mind. And like, he was out there balling, man. He looked like fucking Aaron Rodgers in this game.
Well, the other thing is Kenneth Walker has stepped up in his playoffs, stepped up when he needed to, and it only took an unfortunate injury to Zach Charbonnet for the coaching staff to kind of finally realize that. We thought George Holani might get more work than he actually did. Well, he was on the field a decent amount, but Zach Charbonnet going down opened up for Kenneth Walker. The big question for him is where he's going to be next year. So to answer your question, or to kind of put the bow on that point, Sam Darnold played incredibly well. It was an exciting game to watch. It was great to watch him. This reminds me of that Joe Flacco run with the Ravens. Remember, where everybody thought he was going to turn back into a pumpkin, and he just
touchdown, 0 picks.
Going. Yeah, he just kept the momentum going all year. So hopefully we get another good game for the Super Bowl. I'd love to see. We're bummed because we got a ton of Rams players on our fantasy team, but I'm happy for Seattle. I like Sam Darnold. I like Kenneth Walker. I like Mike McDonald. I think I'm cheering for. I was cheering for the Patriots. I think I'm switching over to the Seahawks now.
Yeah, Patriots have won too much. And one last thing to piggyback on your Kenneth Walker point, he was already going to get paid quite a bit just based on his ability. We've always said he's an elite player. It's just he has deficiencies in his game. And we saw it. George Holani was on the field coming off IR, hadn't played since week 8, and was on the field a lot. And why is that? Because Kenneth Walker is terrible in pass protection. He's not the smartest player. Like, he just, in terms of raw talent, Kenneth Walker is an A. He is an A talent. Still is. And he's also pretty fresh because he never plays a full season. But he just earned himself a fucking bag, dude. Whether it's because the Seahawks will pay him now that Charbonnet's hurt, someone's going to give him $14-15 million a year for 4 years.
The question is, he stayed healthy this year, which was unusual. Remember, the first 2 years in his career, he was banged up quite a bit, missed several games. So the question is, was Seattle smart or did he just get lucky with an injury season? Or was the spelling of him with Charbonnet so significantly, did that then contribute to him staying healthy all year? I think some teams are going to be asking that question as well.
I think it's probably a little bit of all three of those, right? Like, because he came out of Michigan State with some injury concerns, right?
Not really. No, it was just the first 2 years in the NFL for him.
Because he's a big dude. Like, for how athletic he is, he's really big. It's not like he's a tiny guy like a DeAndre Swift where you worry about the workload concerns. He's not that, but he's always kind of had that. It's nagging stuff. It's always nagging stuff. Hamstrings, knees, ankles, all the other things. So he's going to get a bag for sure.
Yeah, he's going.
We're going to get to everyone's question here in a second, so just keep piling them on. We're going to talk about the weather game, and Storey's going to have a couple-minute rant here on Sean Payton, his best buddy. But get your questions, keep on getting them in, and we're going to get to them here after Storey rants about Sean Payton. So this game, Vegas took a beating. Everyone had the Broncos. I did alt line -2.5 Broncos. I still stand by that bet because if that weather didn't come in, I think they're winning this game. And call me crazy, and I guess it comes down to, for me, it comes down to the field goal, passing up a field goal with a backup quarterback. And, if it was the Rams Seahawks game, that game flow, those offenses, okay, go for it. This was not that. Denver's, the only way to win the game was to muck it up. You don't need to go up 14-0. Go up 2 scores. And the play call on that 4th down story by Sean Payton was like trying to he's smarter than everyone else. You always say this about Sean Payton, and he's going to run a bootleg with Jared Stidham and hit RJ Harvey in the flat because everyone thought they're going to run the ball, and that play was dead 3 different times, right? He didn't have time to throw the ball. They snuffed it out, and the guy was covered. It was awful play call, awful play.
Yeah, no, enough has been said. He's been lambasted quite a bit. I don't need to pile on more. I'm just thrilled that he's done in the playoffs. Denver's going to be good, right? That defense is still young enough where they're going to be competitive for years to come. Chiefs, they're aging a little bit. The Chargers should be up and coming. If McDaniel stays there, which there's rumors now that he might take a head coaching job, and if that's the case, he would pull out of this contract with, I don't know. Anyway, tons of mistakes on that part, and New England. What kind of worries me about New England is this is a team that's just been doing exactly what they need to do to win. They haven't been going crazy this is where McVay got, or what's his name? Packers head coach Matt LaFleur got in trouble with just kind of doing what you needed to do to win. I had a Packers fan at my party yesterday who was all riled up and saying that game was entirely on the kicker. And I'm like, well, first of all, who signed the kicker? But also, you can't, this team, the Bears team, you can't just let up in the second half and run the ball so much. 2nd and 12 every single drive. So for me, I'm worried about the Patriots because I'm not sure that Vrabel has that mentality to get them where they need to get against the Seahawks. The Seahawks team is darn good. And we talked about it last week. I'm glad. I hate Sean Payton. I think the dude should have been banned from the league from Bountygate, and here he is sticking around.
Who do you blame this loss on? Is it squarely on Sean Payton's shoulders with that call and some of the other decisions he made, or do you blame it on the weather, or do you blame it on, or do you give credit to the Patriots? Because my least of the three is giving credit to the Patriots because that was a bad game. They played awful. They pretty much essentially the water boy scene where they just kneel the ball a bunch of times so Bobby Boucher wouldn't beat them. That's essentially what their offense was. They knew that they weren't going to score. The Broncos were not going to score there, and kicking a field goal was tough. By the way, that field goal that Lutz kicked would have gone in if it wasn't tipped on the line, 54 yards.
It was tipped, right? Because they didn't get the good angle on that. I don't know. Sean Payton's mentality of field goals are stupid anyway. We're just going to go for it with a backup quarterback. Kind of probably cost them. I mean, that's the theme of this playoffs, right? We're gonna pass up almost guaranteed points. I know that field goals aren't almost guaranteed anymore, but we're going to pass up points in order to try to put your foot down on somebody's throat, and it's just been costing teams throughout this entire playoff. Hell, Vrabel did it too, where I know they ended up kicking a field goal later in that drive, but from the 8-yard line, he opted not to kick a field goal too. And I'm a big proponent of going for it when it makes sense, but the passing up of points by these teams has been baffling to me in these playoffs.
Well, the bottom line is they were up 7-0. If they kicked that field goal, which was a 98% make, right, it was going to be a 28-yard field goal, they're up 10-0. They lost 10-7. So, the amount of points they would have had there in the early second quarter was the amount that the Patriots ended with. Now, maybe it changes, kind of the situation there with the Patriots offense, but you put pressure on the Patriots. Drake May was clearly struggling. It's not even just this game. Will Campbell is real rough right now. He has lost some confidence. You saw the false starts. He is not a confident player right now, and the rest of their O-line is pretty beat up. So the Broncos were the better team in this game, and honestly, I think that Jarrett Stidham looked pretty good. If you take away the weather stuff, the first quarter and a half, he outplayed Drake May. He hit the deep shots. He was mobile.
Yeah, I mean, give credit where credit's due. The Broncos, Sean Payton scripted a very good first quarter, but after that, once things kind of got away from him, he was not able to adjust to his quarterback's strength, and I think that's really what cost them the game there. So it was a boring game. Good defenses, I guess, but more so, Drake May didn't look very good. Obviously, you got a backup quarterback who hadn't taken a meaningful snap in 18 months. It's just we'll see what the Patriots bring to the Super Bowl. I mean, that 4.5 line is kind of telling.
Yeah, I actually have some footage here. It's pretty good footage here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It's of Sean Payton leaving the stadium. Here it is. He's driving away from the stadium.
Hey, what's next? All right, I'm going to gun this car as fast as it goes directly into that wall. Now, judging by the distance, I'm thinking I could get her up to about 60, 70 miles an hour. Definitely. Holy shit, dude! Are you all right? Yeah. Why did you jump out? Okay. Holy shit.
Sean Payton trying to leave the stadium, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't work out well for him, but
well, I mean, how much do you put the blame on Jarrett Stidham too? He made some boneheaded mistakes himself, running out of bounds there, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage when they're trying to kick a field goal. I don't know that. I mean, if I'm the kicker and I see that, I'm like, come on, man. What are you're trying to make it that much more difficult for me? I don't know if that got in your set, whatever. Probably not.
Yeah, and on top of that, Blake has a comment here. Said he saw something about saying the Broncos couldn't see the line, so they lined up a yard closer or farther up than they should, so closer to the line of scrimmage, which helped that kick get blocked. Obviously, the longer the field goal is, the more of a line drive it has to be to get there. And you mix that with if that's the case, he was a yard closer. And that was barely tipped. That was grazed on a finger.
Yeah.
But obviously that changed. I know this in golf. If you hit a little tree limb, like a small little stick on a tree, it will change the spin of a golf ball, and it will exacerbate the hook or whatever. And that's exactly what happened to that kick because he lined it up perfect. You knew it was going to go right to left. The wind was going that way. He lined it up at the right upright, hit a line drive, and it just fucking took a direct left turn. And either way, if this game went to overtime, I don't think there's any world where the Broncos win this game. They had 3 first downs, I think, in the last second half, maybe less than that. It was rough.
Dude, if Bo Nix played, I think the Broncos win that game. I really do.
Yeah, and back to the 4th down call. If you have Bo Nix in that situation, I'm all for going for 4th down there, right? Like, yeah. I think it comes down to Sean Payton. You've been saying this, and I'm going to give you a little bit of some props here. You've been saying this about Sean Payton and a lot of coaches. They always want to be the smartest guy in the room, right? And like Sean Payton wanted, it's like the Jerry Jones thing. Instead of just being happy for the trading and getting all those draft picks, he wanted to make sure everyone knew it was his idea, which it wasn't his idea. Instead of just being like, I guess what, we're gonna keep our head coach, which I was the only one in the league that wanted to hire him. He wanted to be like, you're out of town. This is my team. This is my situation. Sean Payton wanted the credit for the world championship instead of just like our defense got us there or whatever the case may be. He wanted to be like, look at me. I'm ballsy enough to run a 4th and 1 play with a backup quarterback that hasn't played in 3 years. Like, that's just bad business.
Yeah, I mean, some of the blame does fall on Stidham. I can't guarantee that if Nix played, we wouldn't have a backwards pass fumble when he's getting sacked there. He did not know when to throw that ball away or when to take a sack. That was embarrassing.
He was very panicked, and we always say that Bo Nix gets panicked sometimes. That was 10 times more panic. That was Jodie Foster in panic room level shit.
That was you know what that was? That was old playoff. What's his name? Josh Allen. That was old. Remember the one time where he threw the ball? He getting spun around and he threw it backwards. That one. Yeah. Anyway, I
can't believe they called that play dead, man. Like, I know they scored the next play, but like that's or they not the next play, but they did score in that touchdown. Yeah,
it was a clear recovery and there was no whistle. So why did the ball not get advanced?
Yeah, they got to let that play go, man. They got to let all these plays go and fucking go. Like, study the tape later, right? Because you just took those points away, and luckily they scored. But with the way this game went, if they didn't score there, like, Broncos win this game. There's so many ways the Broncos could have won this game, and it's fine. I don't think we wanted to see the Broncos in the Super Bowl. At least the Patriots, you have that quarterback duel, and technically the better quarterback. Would you say who's the better quarterback in this game? I'm still going Drake May because I'm not going to just judge him on his last couple games. It's Drake May is the better quarterback.
Yeah, I think Drake May's been playing very well all year. His playoffs haven't been spectacular, but the way that they close out the season, I was impressed with that. Sean Payton put them in a bad spot. There's no reason that they couldn't have run a tush push with Jarrett Stidham or Evan Ingram. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. It's just bad play calls, bad execution. I don't want to. The better team, I guess, technically won, but I'm not. I'm just happy that we don't have to watch Denver in the playoffs again anymore.
Can we chat about TreVeyon Henderson for a minute? 4 snaps. By the way, I didn't see the numbers. Yesterday we were talking. I guessed it was 9 snaps. He had 3 touches. 4 snaps for TreVeyon Henderson to 60, 58, whatever the hell it was for Ramondre Stevenson. It was like every other snap, obviously. And this is like, if you're a dynasty owner of him, or you were looking forward to drafting him next year, or you were touting up. Like, I remember I had an argument with a guy. It was before the fantasy playoffs, right? And he was like, TreVeyon Henderson's fucking league winner of league winners. I was like, first of all, he's not, because you took him in the third/4th round, and he took 8 weeks to be relevant. So like most people that drafted TreVeyon Henderson were already out of the playoffs. And then either way, whatever, he had some big games. And then what happened in the fantasy playoffs? Yes, he got concussed, missed a game, but it was not great. So he was definitely not a league winner. And like, if it was a league winner, Rico Dowdle, because he had the same exact season, right? 4 big games. And then after that, he was just kind of sprinkled in, but he was a 14th round pick. But 3 touches, 4 snaps when you have no one else. Like, give Stevenson a break. And also, Stevenson's fumbling concerns, I know he hasn't done it in a while. That was prime fumble territory, that game against that defense. Luckily, he held on to the ball, but like the confidence level and trust level this coaching staff has in TreVeyon Henderson, like it's at 0. I mean, it is 0 for snaps. What the fuck is that?
That is bizarre. I'd love to hear some pundits who are talking about TreVeyon Henderson being the next what's his name?
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, what the hell's wrong with me today? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm hungover. Yeah, I talking about how this guy's the next Jahmyr Gibbs, got him in the top 10 rankings, et cetera, when clearly they paid Stevenson. He's under contract through next year. They paid him a lot. They like him. They like him in pass protection. They worry about the fumbles, but Vrabel has made it clear that he'll go back to him. Fumbles be damned, right? Like when push comes to shove, these games are one and done. Who's on the field? It's Ramondre Stevenson. So that makes me worried about the future of Trayvon Henderson, at least for next year. He's explosive, big playability, can start and stop, et cetera, break off long runs. But if you're not on the field when it matters, what good are you in fantasy football?
I'm going to disagree with everything you said there besides the fact that he's fast. I think that's the only redeeming quality he has. He's fast. It's like talking about a fat chick. Like, well, she's not even nice. She just has big tits. Like, stop it at the big tits, and there it is. Like, if it's like the blind date episode where Jerry and Elaine set up George and Elaine's friend, and like, how are her eyebrows? How is her hair? Like, I need thick, lustrous hair.
Well,
like,
my hand gets stuck.
Yeah, thick hair is very important to me. It's fucking awesome. All right, let's get to some comments here. You know what? I'm actually I got to grab a beer. I am going to play the intro, and then we're going to get to the comments. You're going to like the intro story. All right. Before we get to questions, I want to go over. Usually I wait for the bets, but this one you got to hit right now. It's FanDuel specific for the Super Bowl. By the way, went 3-1 this week, 9-5 for the playoffs. Not my best effort, but we're still sitting at 95-56 on the season, boys. So making money. I had someone sign up for the Patreon. I don't even know who it is. I don't recognize her name. I don't know him from the streams. I don't know how they found out about the channel. And he said he's just here for the bets. Signed up before Sunday's game, got all 4 bets in. He went 3-1. So he did the semi-pro, which right now is only $5 a month to get the access to the bets, the Discord. And he's made his year just from that week. If he put $25 in each bet, he's already up, he's up $48, which is what it would cost for a year.
That's bad.
Just
not bad. That's obviously not bad.
And here's Helen Hunt.
Oh, yeah, there she is. Helen Hunt, our good friend.
So I have 3 plays already, but I'm just going to show you the first one here. And if you want access to the other plays, they're already locked in. I like them both. Here's the one I love here. This has gone down to plus 105 already, but Drake May and Sam Darnold to each have 15 or more passing yards in each quarter. Storey, you hate the preset bets, the special bets they have there.
Yeah.
But this one seems too good to be true. Plus 120.
Yeah, I mean, again, I hate any big game specials, popular specials. People are betting this. There's a reason that these bets are getting highlighted on the front page of the Super Bowl. But I mean, it seems good, but a lot of times these ones do seem good. So good luck. I'm not touching it. I'm not taking any of those pregame or preset ones. Because
this one's actually one of my bets. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, how do you even evaluate that? I guess you could go back and look through each game record or game log and determine what the odds are or the chances are that it happens in this game based on the percentage that it happened earlier in the year for each of the games. But again, good luck.
I would bet that, I don't know exactly, I didn't look this up, but that game that just happened, I know it was different teams, right? It was Rams, Seahawks. And they know each other. They, the Stafford kind of dominates Seahawks defense, but they had 40 yards each. They had to have 40 or 50 yards each, right, in that game because Sam Darnold threw for 350 or 340, and Stafford threw for 320. So yeah, I guess you could say Drake May just threw for 70 yards.
Yeah, well, that's true. Drake May threw for 65 yards in this game, so he probably didn't get there. Well, we know he
no math. But he needs 80 yards. But I guess this is a play on if the game's close. This most certainly hits.
No,
if it's within 7 points, it's going to hit.
He could have gone 15, 15, 15, 15. He would have gotten there, but it probably didn't.
Oh yeah, that's 60 yards. What am I thinking of? Anyways, if it's close, the only worry is first quarter is if the Seahawks get the ball first. And it's 3 runs, first down. He gets 10 passing yards, and then the Patriots have a 10-minute drive. But I'm just saying, the second and fourth quarter, as long as it's close, those always hit because you get extra possessions with the half and end of game. This other one I sprinkled in. This is not an official play, just because it's big odds, but +4. It's pretty much over 4-1 odds. It's Kenneth Walker and Stevenson both have 5+ rushing yards in each quarter. Same kind of bet here, man. If it's a close game, I just like to sprinkle because everyone bets so much in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to have my normal 3 props for this game. But I just like this. This one is +450. Is that right? 460? I can't really read it, but
440.
Yeah, it's amazing odds for that's nothing, right? Again, close game. This hits.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't trust these specials at all. Like, there's a reason that the books put these up.
I was saying to you, I don't trust the DraftKings special that comes up on like the highlighted thing. These I have to go look for. You know what I'm talking about? The specials where it's boosted. Yeah. Like they boost a player's points in the NBA from -110 to +150. I don't trust those because those are highlighted right up front. This isn't the game specials where there's 30 of them. I'm not saying I trust it more than what I'm saying with the other ones. I have good experience because I had the Derrick Henry bet. It was it 15 rushing yards per quarter, and it was like fucking 2-1 odds. I actually played that one. Anyways, if you want access to these bets, though, you got to hop into Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. So
that one, the first one's already down to +105. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, and it was 120, so I think I'm on the right side of that one. They might take that one off before, or maybe move down to 120. Anyway, shout out to the Patreon guys. Appreciate you guys. Campbell upgraded yesterday. Dakota, appreciate you, my dude. And then new guy, Justin, whoever you are, Justin, appreciate you. More than just supporting your boys here, you get access to Discord. You get access to our community fantasy leagues. We have 2 spots left in the Dynasty League. Campbell's in, Story. We have 2 spots left in the Dynasty League. Nice. Guest appearances on the pod. You want to sit next to me and Story, sit in between us, talk ball. Also, free merchandise. Got some news today. We're getting the shirts printed up here. So we're going to have shirts for you guys. It's going to be $20, but that's including me shipping it to you. So $20 gets you a Professional Fanatics shirt, and I'm going to get new hats as well. So send out the 4 hats today, too. So you guys are getting some shit. Like to give back to the community when I can. Professionalfanatics.com, and the link is in the description if you don't want to go to the website. And it's what do we call it, Story? It's the
it's the place to be.
I can't find it. I can't find the clip because I don't have the long view on, so everything's super small. I'm like looking at ants from a building. Anyways, it's the place to be. That's a Seinfeld clip. I think you guys know that clip. All right, let's get to the comment. 2 most overrated coaches of all time, John Gruden and Sean Payton. What's the case for you pick who's more overrated?
You're Sean Payton for me. I mean, I know Gruden's overrated, but Sean Payton is just an absolute. The dude was coasting on what's his name? God, my brain is just not working today.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, thank you. For years and years and years. Again, personally, I think Sean Payton should have been completely ousted from the league, along with Greg Williams. Like, you put a bounty on people, that's it. No mas. No more head coaching jobs. No more coordinators. No more broadcasting. You're going to, like, we talk about player safety. Your entire resume doesn't matter anymore. Off the table. I hate Sean Payton so much. I hate Greg Williams, too.
Greg Williams most certainly should have been kicked out just because he was the ringleader, but it goes back to the Joe Paterno thing where, like, Sandusky happened. I know it's a weird comparison, but, like, Joe Paterno knew about it. He's the head coach, especially in a college environment. Like, Sean Payton knew about it. He's the head coach. Right. He knew about it. So that you're guilty, it's like accessory to murder. Like, that's what he was. And also, if you don't want it to happen as a head coach, you fire Greg Williams on the spot if you don't like what he's doing. And, he said, fuck it, we're going to win like this, and we'll deal with the ramifications later. And Sean Payton just eventually got out of Dodge. But he has done some great things to rejuvenize that team, because if you had told me after the Russell Wilson debacle, not even how he played, how much they gave up for him, how they had to give up stuff to get Sean Payton. So, like, they were so draft capital poor after those 2 terrible decisions, salary cap strapped, and now they were in the AFC Championship game. Last year they made the playoffs. Like, if you had told me that, like, that is a ringing endorsement on Sean Payton, right? It's just like in the macro he's awesome, the micro he's bad.
I think I'm gonna give more credit to Bo Nix than to Sean Payton, because I don't want to give Sean Payton any credit.
Dakota says, Story, what's your top 3 super flex players in 2026 and top 3 non-quarterbacks?
Are these rookies or overall, Dakota?
No, just overall. Next year super flex. You're gonna go 3 quarterbacks, right? Just off the top of your head. Yeah.
Josh Allen, number 1 overall. Drake May, and
I said Joe Burrow.
I don't know, man. This injury is really.
You can't go Lamar.
I was gonna say Lamar. How old's Lamar Jackson?
29.
29.
You know what I was thinking as just a dark horse? It's Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. The way that this season unfolded for me, that's kind of how I worry how the Bears is going to unfold, right? You had a super easy schedule 2 years ago. You had a rookie quarterback with very little tape on him. He was coming off on a standing year at LSU, won the Heisman, et cetera, et cetera. Jaden Daniels, I was going to say Hurts. I would have said Hurts before this year, but I don't think so anymore. I'm going to stick with Lamar. I'm going to go Josh Allen, Drake May, Lamar Jackson. 1, 2, 3.
That seems more chalk. I was just thinking what I would do. I'm not touching Lamar next year. By the way, 7 likes in this video, guys. What the hell's going on? Come on. Hit the like button. How hard is that? Also, 3 non-quarterbacks.
That's easy. It's Puka, Jamar Chase, and
Bijan.
Bijan, right?
Yeah, Bijan's number 1 overall for sure.
No, in a PPR, I would take Puka or Jamar Chase over them. Also, like shorter shelf life for Bijan Robinson. So I wouldn't be upset if anybody wanted to go CeeDee Lamb there, or Amon-Ra St. Brown, or if you want a different running back, Jahmyr Gibbs in a PPR too. So
I'm going to give you the 5. I think this is the 5. And I'm going to give you the order I think they're going. I'm going to go under the presumption that David Montgomery's gone in Detroit. Now, it sucks that they have a offensive coordinator that eats fucking Play-Doh, as Mouth would say, eats crayons. But I'm going to say Bijan is number 1. I think he's number 1 just because it's PPR value, and there's probably going to be no Tyler Algier. Then we're going to have a combination of Puka, JSN, Jamar Chase, and then 5 is Jahmyr Gibbs. But I would take Jahmyr Gibbs at 2 if there's no David Montgomery. Give me the running back. Like you saw Jahmyr Gibbs with no David Montgomery in 2024 for those 3 games, and he averaged like 29 fantasy points a game. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like that team is on the wrong. There's an age cliff coming for Jared Goff here. I'm kind of worried about just the overall offensive efficiency about that team. So I'm sticking with. I forgot about JSN. So anything Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb, they get bumped down. JSN is number 3 for me. So it goes Puka, Jamar Chase, JSN for me in that order, and then Bijan, then Gibbs, because I want the longevity of the wide receiver. Maybe Chase over Puka, but one of those guys.
It's safe to say the top 5 is stacked. I know it's early to say that stuff, but like these guys having the 3 receivers that are just so set in stone, PPR monsters. You're not relying on touchdowns with any of these guys. And then CeeDee Lamb would be in there if George Pickens leaves. CeeDee Lamb is right in the same conversation for me as JSN.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
And Puka. And Jamar Chase. I think I like Jamar Chase at number 1. I don't know. I just feel like
I can be talking the year. But when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, I think that that Pickens is going to get franchise tagged, and then he's gone after next year. So that's why I think Lamb belongs in that conversation.
You know what? DK Metcalf makes $31 million a year. So George Pickens has, I feel like, earned the right to make more than that based on his age and his recent production. Yeah. And DK Metcalf is out there punching fans. I'm just saying, like, I love DK Metcalf, but he has never had a season like George Pickens has. You know what he's going to say? You saw the 5 weeks when CeeDee Lamb was hurt. I was the number 1 receiver. I was a number 1. I was a bona fide 1. I carried the team statistically and on-field production, and I test all those kind of things. And I'm worried if I'm signing him or if I'm the Cowboys franchise tagging him. It's all up here, right? It's the mental stuff. It's he's a fucking diva, bro. He is the diva.
On the running back side, where do you put CMC? You got to be concerned there with the age, obviously, but where do you put Devon Achane?
First round. Both of them. CMC is going to be pick 6 for CMC.
Yeah. I'm not
and
sure.
And then Achane will probably be pick 10. He will, because the inherent upside of CMC is the safest, and he has the highest floor and the highest ceiling, like the weirdest combo. The problem is like the floor drops out when he gets hurt.
Well, I don't know that he's got the ceiling of Bijan Robinson anymore. Algier's not going to be there anymore. Like, he's gone.
Right.
So Bijan should not be getting spelled. And CMC, his efficiency has dropped precipitously this year. 3.8 yards a carry this year or something like that. Obviously, he's got the receiving chops, but I get worried about him just like continuing to slowly decline. Now, he's a guy that you're not going to see a noticeable huge drop off, but just, he starts getting on that wrong side of the age curve. You got to get worried about that, especially when you're talking startups.
I mean, I was saying it all year, and the stats weren't backing up because it looked like a fool, but CMC, I never thought was Bijan level talented. Now, versatility-wise, he's the most versatile running back the NFL has ever seen, honestly. But in terms of like burst and explosiveness, all those kind of things, this year was a big drop-off. It was it was good.
Vision, patience. Bijan's just next level, man.
But
and
CMC dropped off this year, like from an eye test standpoint, a lot because
I agree. Yeah.
I know it was like the yards per carry were really down. I know that's not the end all be all stat, but there was a reason, and it's like I'm gonna blame CMC's ability more than I'm gonna blame like the offense and Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle Shanahan produces running backs like he anyone can average 5 yards a carry in his scheme. And I'm not saying it was all on CMC. I'm just saying it was a combination of, you know, the offensive line being a little bit down, you know, Brock Purdy being hurt, but like that was like glaringly bad, honestly. And it was all in the back of his receiving production. That's really what it was. And like, look at that receiver core. They were all banged up, but that's probably going to continue to happen, Storey, because the Niners, their team has AIDS every year.
It's rough. I would guess it's rough to be a Niners fan year in and year out.
They're still better than being the Browns. All right, we're going to move on. Stidham did look solid the first
Browns. Did you hear Shedeur Sanders got the Pro Bowl invite?
Jesus, dude. Well, hey, so Tyler Huntley made a Pro Bowl, though.
So. Obviously, May's not playing in the Pro Bowl, so they needed an invite. They gave it to Shedeur Sanders. 7 touchdowns to 10 interceptions this year. Shedeur Sanders. It's just
you know what that is, though. It's to get, you know, people love Shedeur. I don't know why. Gen Zers love Shedeur. People might watch the game to see Shedeur play. I don't get it. I don't want to watch him play football at all. But Blake has a good call here. Stidham did look really good the scripted plays. Looked really good. The first series was really bad. It was only one throw. But so the first throw was bad, and then the second drive was a touchdown drive. The throw to Mims was great. Obviously, it was a really nicely drawn up play. But we didn't mention this. How bad was it that the deep throw that got picked off to end the game essentially by Christian Gonzalez was drawn up for Marvin Mims? Like, has there ever been a receiver that's less likely to come down with a 50-50 ball than Marvin Mims? Why is that not Cortland Sutton? Why is that not Cortland Sutton?
Well, why is it not Troy Franklin?
Franklin wasn't playing.
He didn't play?
No, he didn't play.
What happened to him?
And Pat Bryant got hurt. But I'm just saying, Evan Ingram, draw it up for anyone, dude. That's a Cortland Sutton 50-50 ball.
But
right, good call.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nick says, glad to see another Panther quarterback leave us and succeed. It's rough, my dude. It's rough. I'll say this, though. Hey, it looked even worse 2 years ago when you passed on C.J. Stroud to take Bryce Young. And now that's not looking so bad. And I'm not at the camp where I'd rather have Bryce Young than C.J. Stroud, but that gap has gotten down to a pubic hair. Would you agree, Storey? Are you still taking C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young?
I would go Bryce Young at this point. I think there's more potential there. Stroud has just regressed incredibly fast. I think the fall off there needs to be studied by government. So
you're saying you like Bryce Young a pubic hair over C.J. Stroud? Well, I like C.J. Stroud by a pubic hair over Bryce Young
because it's also
a small hair.
A more beatable division, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to play against the Colts and the Jaguars 2 times a year.
I'm more saying if you're the Raiders and you can pick up one of them right now to be a franchise quarterback, who are you taking?
I mean, we've seen multiple years of both of them. That's a tough one. I guess you go Stroud because of the size. Like, Bryce Young's a small.
The answer might be neither. I think neither is the answer, but
yeah.
Stroud has more upside just based on his archetype, his body, his arm. But I like Bryce Young's moxie, right? Like, Bryce Young has some moxie. I like it. He's a gamer, man, and he's just really, really small, slight and small. And he has those games where he gets really bad. But even a bad Bryce Young game is probably not as bad as what we saw from C.J. Stroud. Like that, that's bottom of the barrel. That's like, you know, alcoholic hitting rock bottom, where you're like sucking a dude off in an alley to get booze. That's what C.J. Stroud was doing. He was sucking off a homeless dude in an alley. And the problem is the homeless dude doesn't have a lot of money either. So like, you're sucking him off for like 50 cents. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, the just the fall off in the playoffs for Stroud, it's absolutely wild.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Was a pretty gay reference.
Your hands are what makes it possible. Your shoulder pads are hard and stiff. Your hands are tender and they can move and caress the ball. that's kind of gay, but hey.
Do you think John Gruden should get another job? Like, throw the emails out, which I think is stupid, but like, he's way better than half the coaches in the league, right? At least offensive mind. He knows ball.
Yeah, I think he's better than probably 2/3 of the coaches that are currently floating around.
There you go.
I hate the patronage system that we see in the NFL, where guys that come from certain trees, they're good coordinators and they get elevated to head coaching roles and they fall on their faces because there's more to being a head coach than just calling X's and O's. And Suns, like, God, look at what happened in Las Vegas with Pete Carroll's son this year. Like, just an absolute disaster. But
Who is Pete Carroll's son anyway? Like, why was he on the staff?
I mean, again, patronage. Like, that is just giving somebody the benefit because of who they're related to. So, yeah, I think that it's probably going to be a couple more years for that Gruden thing to settle. But I don't know, man. At this point, does he even want to come back?
No, I think he's got a pretty cush lifestyle there with Barstool and just, he knows ball. I watch a decent amount of John Gruden stuff, and he's one guy I will pay attention, especially quarterback stuff. I mean, he's pretty elite. Nick says, can you imagine if the Rams won after Woolen gave them a shot with the stupid taunting penalty? He'd be getting torched today. And I'll say this. They should have called that penalty in a playoff game. That's silly. But also, why are you putting the official in that position? Why are you... I'm going to go real quick, not too political, but why are these fuckers in Minnesota like antagonizing officers? Like, again, they don't deserve to be killed. That's for damn straight. But like, don't put yourself in that position.
The reason they threw that flag specifically is because as he was walking towards the Rams sideline, the back judge ushered him to move along. Like, all right, here's your little taunting, but dude, move along. Woolen ignored him and then continued to taunt. That's why they threw the flag, because it's, sometimes they let the first one go and they get the second one. Well, this guy like specifically, basically, metaphorically spit in the referee's face by continuing to taunt after he was told to move along. Moving on.
Yeah, it's like when the offensive linemen get warned about not lining up on the belt line of the center. You know what I mean? They always give them a warning, and they call it like 3 times in a row because it's like you're specifically spitting and shoving your dick Peyton Manning style in the referee's face. Like, we can't be having that. And it was a silly call, and I just love – this is why those are the best 2 teams in football, because they capitalize so fast on that mistake. Boom, Puka. By the way, Puka, Storey, flowers to you, man. You called Puka before anyone called Puka. Okay. What a monster. Like, he just impresses me more and more every game. And, like, dude, he's just such a tough dude.
165 yards against that defense. Like,
just casually. And that was after the Week 16 performance of 225 yards. So his last 2 games against that defense, almost 400 yards. Like, dude, literally, it would take Ladd McConkey 12 games against that defense to get that number, maybe more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's 50 yards a game if it takes 12 games.
There's another one. Yeah. Ladd McConkey is just like similar to Brian Thomas. Like, when you're the only game in town, you're going to get a lot of looks. Guys, we're probably going to need to remember. We should probably start thinking about guys that like had a ton of target share because they were the only game in town. Like, I don't want to say JSN because he's just such a phenomenal talent, but like, who else are they throwing to on that team?
The Cinema scramble. Nothing good happens. You know how the old saying that nothing good happens after like 3 a.m. or whatever the time frame is?
Yeah.
Nothing good happens when you scramble 20 yards back unless you're Caleb Williams, my dude. Caleb Williams turns those into touchdowns. And I know, Storey, you've been a little historically hard on Caleb Williams. We talked about this a week ago after the loss. But Caleb Williams can do everything on the football field. He can make something out of nothing better than anyone I've ever seen. Honestly, Josh Allen and, like, you know who could do it? Was Michael Vick in Madden 04. Like, that was the only I'm telling you, in a video game, remember when you could just run back and forth and the stupid computer defensive lineman would just like kind of shadow you, and then you could like find an angle and then throw it downfield?
Yeah.
Like, that's Caleb Williams right now. He is playing Madden. Just clean up some of the small stuff, Caleb, and we're Super Bowl bound in the next couple of years. Well, I really do believe that.
It's the decision making first and foremost.
He's young, decision making also comes down to the fact he paints his nails, and not a good decision.
I'm not a huge fan of that, but do whatever you want.
What's the over under an age where Caleb stops painting his fingernails? Is this a phase?
It's not a phase because he's been doing it since USC. But you know what I saw?
I did a lot of things when I was in my early 20s. I don't do anymore. Storey. What is the age? Do you think he does it his whole life?
Yeah, he seems like that.
You think he's gonna be a 75-year-old man painting his fingernails?
Oh man, we'll see what happens in the next 55 years. Maybe that won't be the style anymore.
So what is your number? I want to hear your number you're setting it at. What's the over-under where he stops doing it?
I don't know.
29, 49?
I don't think he stops doing it until he's like infirm.
His number is death.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 29, 29.5.
Hold his head up anymore. Where he's like out there.
That's what we were saying, CDs, that he should have played a lot more conservative. You take the points, especially at home. It was never going to be an offensive game there in Denver. And like, here's my question for you, Storey. Was the weather report said nothing about this? Obviously, I know this because my Stephon Diggs bet I bet on Wednesday. And then even on Saturday when I looked, I saw possible flurries. I know in Denver, storms come in a little faster than most places with the mountains, but Sean Payton had to have that information, right? Because they did say it in the broadcast in the first quarter that the weather each quarter is going to get worse. The wind's going to get worse, and they're expecting some snow. Now, no one predicted this snowstorm. That was epic, dude. They showed the time lapse, and just like from the middle of the third to the early fourth, it was a whole different ball game. But like Sean Payton should have known this in the second quarter and predicted this. Even the game flow, but I'm saying the weather. He had to know something about this, right?
Yeah, and it's arrogance. It was arrogant of him to think that he wasn't like his game plan wasn't going to get affected by the weather. Just another arrogant move from an arrogant jerk.
Do you agree? Let's just say Bo Nix was playing for the Broncos. You think the Patriots have a better chance than the Broncos would to beat the Seahawks team just based on Drake May?
Yeah. I
like I said, he can be Superman, right?
How many rushing touchdowns did he have this year, including the playoffs? 4 or 5?
He had 2. Yeah, I think he had 5. I think he had 2. He had 2 games of 2 rushing touchdowns, and then maybe 6 total. Not as many as you think.
No, but I'm just saying, like when things break down, Drake May, although he's not known for it, he can make some things happen with his legs. So Seahawks defense is going to put some pressure on them, but I'm confident that Drake May is going to make some smart decisions, get out of the pocket.
I agree with this one. Just like AJ Hinch should have been banned from baseball for the Astros cheating. That's crazy. He didn't get banned.
I don't know. Yeah, like as harsh as as MLB has come down on some guys, the fact that Hinch didn't get banned for life is just absolutely wild.
Because that was so. I mean, dude, just the banging that garbage can. Like the thing is, baseball has a tradition of if you can cheat, you cheat. Unfortunately, using technology to cheat is like a newer thing, right? It wasn't available in the 40s, 50s, 60s when we were kids playing baseball. Stealing signs is not even frowned upon, honestly. It's like encouraged in baseball. But in this regard, you can't cheat based on technology because that's just insane. A lot of people are saying JSN over Lamb. We were talking last night. I was, all season pretty steadfast in my opinion that Justin Jefferson's still a better receiver than JSN. Not for fantasy, obviously, because JJ McCarthy is a turd. But after this run JSN's having, I think it's close. But like, who are you taking next year just for a 1-year sample size? Because JSN's younger. If the Raiders could, I always bring the Raiders as like a standard team X that sucks. Yeah. If you could pick up one of these guys, regardless of scheme and all that kind of shit, you picking up Justin Jefferson next year or JSN?
JSN. I think he's leveled up.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I really do. The guy looks incredible. I mean, he's always incredible. Ohio State, go back and watch his film from Ohio State. It just took him a couple years to get to that next level. He is very much a wide receiver 1 in this league, and I'm here for it.
You don't think that's a little recency bias just based on the fact that like we haven't seen much from JJ in a year, and like we're not? Are we forgetting how great Justin Jefferson was and is?
Yeah, probably. I'm not going to be saying that. No, I'm not biased here, but I got to go off of what we saw this year. Justin Jefferson should have elevated himself even with that quarterback play. And he couldn't even like why McCarthy didn't tell or why Kevin O'Connell didn't tell McCarthy like, hey, go out there and target Justin Jefferson like 50% of the time is beyond me. I don't know what the problem is there, but yeah, I'm not
trying to take anything away from JSN, but like look at how they use him, man. He's lining up 9 or 10 snaps in the backfield. He's in the slot. He's in motion. Like Justin Jefferson's left out there playing X with a bad quarterback. Like, they're not doing him any favors. They'd actually never have. That's the impressive thing about Justin Jefferson is he has earned all these stats. I'm not saying JSN hasn't earned his stats. I'm saying Justin Jefferson has definitely earned his stats. Where like Jamar Chase, you saw his production really spike 2 years ago when they started using him in the slot more, right? And Justin Jefferson is never used creatively. And I think it's because KLC just knows how good JJ is and he uses Addison in those ways. But like, I would love to see Justin Jefferson in a different role. Like put Justin Jefferson on the Rams and substitute him with Puka, right? I know they're different kind of players. Let me ask you this. JSN or Puka? JSN or Puka?
Puka.
Okay.
Puka's a man.
Puka's injury, his injury concerns with how he plays is a little like JSN. You don't touch. He's like forget was it Tom Brady. Tom Brady called him he called not a ballerina. He called him an ice skater. Like that's a really good description. Like he's on ice with skates. Everyone else is on ice with shoes. You know what I mean? He just puts people in bad positions.
He's a technician. I love it, but yeah, give me the guy that's going to bully the ball away from people. That's Puka.
F Minnesota and the Vikings. I have no beef with the Vikings.
Tough to be a Vikings fan with JJ McCarthy as your quarterback.
Man, the fact that like even Daniel Jones, right? Like I know it sucks that Jones got the Achilles injury, but with how good Daniel Jones looked, the fact they let him walk and they didn't pay Sam Darnold, which Sam Darnold was it wasn't a big contract. It was like a Baker Mayfield, like middle of the road contract. And it was JJ McCarthy. Blame JJ McCarthy because he didn't. Now JJ McCarthy did not draft himself. Let's give JJ McCarthy that credit. But he forced their hand. You can't trade up to get a guy seventh overall, Storey. And they had to play him. They had to play him. And they knew he wasn't ready. I knew he wasn't ready. You have any hope for JJ McCarthy?
I think there's always hope after, when you got a highly touted prospect like that, but it's going to take a lot of work. There's a lot that needs to be done for him to clean the game up. If there's a guy that can do it, well, it would have been Liam Cohen. But if there's another guy that can do it, it's probably Kevin O'Connell.
All right, Storey, I know you got to get out of here. A couple more questions before I let you go. JSN versus Christian Gonzalez is going to be interesting from Dashy.
Yeah, man. Gonzalez has been
JSN
playing.
is such a hard player to shadow, though, because what I was mentioning, how they deploy him. Like, are you going to shadow him with Christian Gonzalez if he's lined up in the backfield? Like, have you ever seen that?
No, but Gonzalez doesn't shadow number ones, does he? They play a lot more zone, I thought.
Yeah, but he's on the side of the field, right? They're not going to move him from side to side when you're in motion. So, but it would be in their best interest if whenever he is lined up out wide or even the slot, I go back to think of this.
This is going to be an interesting chess match because they use a lot of motion in Seattle, and that unveils. So New England's really good at disguising their coverages, but motion tends to unveil some of that disguise. So this is going to be an interesting chess match between these coordinators who can actually keep things hidden longer.
I think that the best strategy, if you could do this kind of weird defensive scheme where you play man, you man up JSN and then you play zone, right? Like how in basketball they do like the box plus one, things like that.
So there's a trend in the NFL on the defensive side now to split the field and do half man, half zone. And that confuses quarterbacks, especially those that aren't very good at progressing through their reads. So generally, if you can figure out if it's zone or man beforehand, you can eliminate part of the field, eliminate half of your reads. Now, if you're splitting things and you don't know which side's which until until you get the snap going, so you have to go through all four reads, it makes things much more difficult for those kind of the mental processing of it. So it would be interesting to see how much kind of split coverage they use.
I'm going to leave you with this one. This is pretty funny. I said this to Ray yesterday. I don't know if you saw the press conference with Matt Stafford, and of course the question gets asked by some moron reporter. Are you going to come back next year? 10 minutes after the loss, which is the dumbest question in the history of sports. We saw it with Jordan. We've seen it with these guys that are like Brett Favre saga. First of all, he just lost. He's not going to have an answer. He wasn't thinking about that. He was thinking about winning a Super Bowl. And how many better questions could have been asked? And my comparison was asking a widow at her funeral, you're going to fuck a guy next week. Are you going to get back on the dating? No, dude, I'm mourning my husband. I'm mourning this loss. We were the best team all year. I was the best quarterback. I'm going to win MVP. And I had a Super Bowl or bust, right? For Matt Stafford. And there's 1,000 questions I would rather ask Matt Stafford. I would rather ask him. A better question would be, what's your favorite sex position with your wife? Honestly, he's more likely to answer that than he is if he's coming back next year. What a waste of air.
Did you ever watch the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I know about it. I've not watched it.
First of all, it's hilarious. You should watch it. But there's a character in there called the Vulture, and he's played by the Allstate Mayhem guy. He's hilarious because he's just like a total dirtbag. And there's one episode where he's talking about how he I can't remember the context, but he basically he banged his brother's widow, and she's like, "Wait a minute, you had sex with your brother's wife?" He's like, "Hey, you only get one shot at your brother's widow." It's just a total.
Damn straight. I wonder if he used spermicidal lube.
I brought a little bottle of spermicidal lube too. And 1 little bottle of spermicidal lube?
Yeah, 1 little bottle of spermicidal lube.
Evan, that's psycho shit, man.
It's not.
It's like Charles Manson shit. What do you think Becca's gonna be psyched that you brought a bottle of lube? Oh, Evan, thank you for bringing that lube for my pussy. I never would have been able to handle your fucking 4-inch dick inside my pussy without that gigantic bottle of lube.
4-inch dick.
Well, that quick. And they see that the girl that had her breast, the breast reduction surgery, they're like, we gotta go get a glimpse of these warlocks. And they just run, they follow her down the street and look at her tits because it was a shame. It was like slapping nature in the face, Yeah. But she was having major back problems, dude, with those giant cans.
Good movie.
I can't think of the girl's name, but I love that movie. All right, Storey.
All right.
Awesome show as usual. Appreciate you. I will finish solo. Appreciate you, my dude.
Yep. We'll I won't be on for a little while. I got to get through this next round of judging. Probably take me through this weekend, and then maybe Sunday next week, Sunday or Monday.
So Monday we have Tropic Thunder.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
Fun.
definitely in for
So
that.
we'll see them for sure. And what a charitable guy Mike Storey is. Round of applause for this nice man. Like I said, I clean up dog shit in my yard. It's my charity work. This motherfucker's out there making a difference in this community. We appreciate. You know what? You know how the NFL has the NFL Man of the Year.
Yeah.
This show has the Professional Fanatics co-host of the year, Man of the Year. You're getting that this year, and you'll probably get it every single year.
I'll take it.
But I'm gunning for you, bro. I'm gonna go work at some soup kitchens.
Do it. Could use the help.
All right, man.
All right.
I'll talk to you later. All right. What a performance by Mike Storey. Pleasure as always. Anyways, I will finish these last round of questions for you guys. I don't ever leave the show until every question is answered. You know how I do around here. Kevin says, honestly, I never thought Justin Jefferson was that good. I mean, eye test is amazing. His start to his career is unreal. And I will say this, Justin Jefferson is still, I believe still, highest in the NFL history in yards per game. Now, I think Puka might have passed him, but that says a lot. I know it's era based, right? Where like guys like Jerry Rice and Randy Moss played in a different era. But when you're up there with highest yards per game, and your quarterbacks have been Kirk Cousins and Nick Mullins and JJ McCarthy and Joshua Dobbs and just a bunch of bums. I know, I guess Kevin O'Connell's awesome, but is he? Kevin O'Connell did not impress me this year. Even when, when JJ went out, like with the other guys, it obviously like Max Brosmer's bad, but like if he's such a good coordinator, I don't know. I've seen Kevin, I've seen other coordinators, right? I've seen guys lead bad quarterbacks to success, and Kevin O'Connell did not quite do that. Kyle Shanahan would have done better, and maybe Kyle Shanahan's better. He probably is. Let's see here. JJ is amazing with a horde quarterback. So can't say he didn't level up because of McCarthy. He wasn't even throwing the ball. Well, McCarthy was like next level bad this year, Team J. Next level bad. You couldn't be any worse than the quarterback play there. The numbers don't even tell the whole tale. A lot of his numbers were just dump downs to Hawkinson and, throws to Aaron Jones. Like he could not throw big boy. He could not throw to a big boy route, which Justin Jefferson runs big boy routes, right? Deep in breakers, deep crossers, posts. He can't hit those routes. He can hit slants, and they don't run a lot of that stuff there in Minnesota. Definitely not with Justin Jefferson. And I'll give you this, PZ. JSN is the pros pro. It's just funny how underutilized he was as a rookie, and you could partially blame, the coordinator there that the Bears picked up. He was awful, but you also blame the fact that they prioritized DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. But JSN coming out of college, we all heard it. Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, both bona fide elite wide receivers, elite prospects coming out of the draft, both said that JSN is way better than both of them, which you never hear professional athletes say. You never hear them give flowers to players like that, where because these guys have to be cocky. They have to think they're the best to be in the position they're in. And they both said it multiple times. JSN's the best of all of us. You will see. And after his rookie year, people kind of wrote him off. Even after last year, man, going to the fantasy draft, he was a third-round pick. Let's not forget that. And he had 100 catches in 2024, but it was 100 catches for like 900 yards or 1,000 yards. It was a lot of little dump-offs, stuff like that, and the touchdowns weren't really there. But, I mean, he has, like Storey said, he has leveled up to that elite tier of wide receiver. So, I don't know how much I'm going to be about him in fantasy next year over the other guys. I think I'm taking Jamar Chase over him. I would definitely take Puka over him as long as Stafford comes back, although Puka has more injury concerns. And I'm definitely taking Bijan over him. So, whatever. You can't go wrong. If you get JSN at 4 or 5, that's going to be a good pick. He is so goddamn safe. Pat's going to be the most average team to make it to the Super Bowl. I don't think they stand a chance against the NFC. No, their schedule was dog shit. Their wins have not been impressive in the playoffs. Drake May elite prospect. He's getting to the point where he's an elite quarterback in the league. He did play elite this year, but who was he playing against? He did not do great against good defenses, and you saw that in the playoffs. It has not been great. Now his legs are a weapon. That's the worry I would have if I'm a Seahawks fan. Is Drake May has the ability, right? Where like Bo Nix wouldn't have that ability, and some of these other quarterbacks don't have the ability to beat you by themselves. Drake May does have that ability because 3rd and 9 is not safe when you're against Drake May. Drake May can make a play with his legs. He can play bully ball. He can do it himself. And they have enough weapons. Dude, I love the All-State guy. I don't know what that guy's name is. Anyone know in the chat what that guy's name is? The All-State guy. I don't remember him from Boondock Saints. I don't really know that movie very well. I own it on DVD, by the way. I've only seen it like once or twice, though. They will never trade him, man, because you're not going to get equal value. But you know what? They got to do something because Minnesota's in a world of hurt because Green Bay is a great organization. They're always there, and they have so much talent. If they get Parsons back and they get some of the other guys back, Jordan Love's fine. He's an above-average quarterback. So Green Bay is going to be there for a long time. Detroit, I know people are trying to write them off because their offensive line, losing Ben Johnson. Dan Campbell runs a really awesome organization there. They have a lot of talents. They're not going away. And the Bears are the most ascending team right now in the NFL with the coach, the quarterback. You have Caleb Williams for another couple years on a rookie deal. That is super dangerous, man. They have a lot of money. They have draft capital. Like, they're going to solidify that defense. It's going to be really dangerous. So, like, you're a clear-cut 4th best team in that division, 1 year removed from winning 14 games. 1 year removed from being in that game against the Lions, week 17, week 18, to have the number 1 seed in the NFC. And now look where Minnesota's at. So it is a rough situation there. Well, yeah, good call. Didn't help. But Geno was actually functional, though, PZ, in Seattle, man. He had multiple 4,000-yard passing seasons. Like, it wasn't necessarily – no, Geno's bad at football, but at least he was putting up numbers, right? So I don't know if it was necessarily Geno's fault, but Geno is bad, and he got really exposed. I can't believe how well he played for those years in Seattle because Pete Carroll is not an offensive guy at all. I don't think they had a lot of great schemes. He was gutting out there and playing well. JSN was one of the best picks, man. JSN was amazing. I'd say he's probably fantasy MVP, and obviously CMC was there because he was more consistent, but he was drafted higher. JSN was the value. Unfortunately, JSN shit the bed in the fantasy playoffs. Not him necessarily because they didn't need him. They won 8 straight to end the year, but he didn't have big games. Week 16, he had a big game. That was that overtime game against the Rams. He had like 120 yards and a touchdown, but Week 17 was bad. I know it was pretty bad. It was a pedestrian game. And then week 15 wasn't that great either. So it's not his fault. They don't need to throw the ball when they're up by fucking 21 points in the second quarter. That does seem kind of like a simulation thing. Shedeur Sanders making the Pro Bowl. But, I said that story earlier. Tyler Huntley made a Pro Bowl with 4 passing touchdowns. That's actually probably crazier because I can see the allure of bringing a young player like Shedeur Sanders that has such a big following, right? Like, everyone loves him because his dad and all that stuff with Colorado. But, like, how did Tyler Huntley make a Super Bowl? Because he's a no-name on the Ravens, a backup. Like, and he was older. Like, Shedeur Sanders at least possesses some inherent upside maybe. But, yeah, Shedeur Sanders, like, that's why beyond the fact it's essentially actually not even essentially. It used to be a 2-hand touch game or flag football game. Now it's officially an actual flag football game. So, like, another reason not to watch it. But we have, like, what's the point of even having a Pro Bowl? Because everyone that makes the playoffs and gets eliminated doesn't go to the Pro Bowl. Most players just think it's a joke. They don't go to the Pro Bowl. And we have Shedeur Sanders playing quarterback. You know what? Bring Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins started 6 games. He can make the Pro Bowl too, right? Donnie says people are sleeping on the Pats' chances in the Super Bowl. Yeah, well, the line opened at -5. It's slap in the face because it's on a neutral field. So essentially what they're saying is if they played this game in Seattle, they would be getting 7.5 points or 7 points. That's wacky shit. I think it's how they looked in the playoffs, man. Not decisive victories against pretty average opponents. The Chargers team was good, but they were beat up. Herbert was beat up. The offensive line was just trash, and that game was 16-6, but a lot closer if you watched it. Score did not indicate how close that game was. And then this past game, that weather played such a big factor in this thing. So yeah, they're Drake May's awesome. I feel like they've come back to earth, and you know what? They have culture. I think that they're going to use this as fuel. I don't expect the line that's at 4.5 now, open at 5. I expect this to settle at 3.5. So still kind of disrespectful when most of these Super Bowl games, and Seattle was a very dominant team, but they don't have that, that iconic quarterback, right? Where it's like, damn, you can't bet against this guy. It's Sam Darnold coming off a legendary game, mind you, but you would expect this game to be -2.5. Like that's usually what this line would be, because the Patriots did win 14 games in the regular season. And I don't care about the schedule. I mean, I kind of do, but not the end all be all there. And 5 points opening at 5 is unbelievable. It's whatever. I guess we'll see. I'm not betting the line. I don't bet a lot of lines. I would take the points. Just like I said, take the points in Denver. It was too many points. So I would probably take the points, but again, it's going to go down to 3.5. Oh, that memory of Seattle not giving beast mode the ball, man. Wacky, wild stuff. The play call, that whole situation. You know what? Tom Brady, that should have been a loss, but Tom Brady also should not have won the game against Atlanta, the 28-3 game, how he won that game. A lot of these games, the loss he had to the Nick Foles team in the Super Bowl, like, they were all close. Honestly, all really close games. He did what he had to do. Tom Brady, the GOAT. By the way, I got to give a shout out to Tom Brady as the announcer. It's hilarious how Tony Romo was amazing his first 2 years. Like, out of the gate, Tony Romo, a lead announcer. And now Tony Romo is garbage. Garbage. He doesn't know what he's saying. He's like trying to be funny. He's stumbling over his words. And Tom Brady's first year, especially the first half of the first year last year, terrible. I was like, this guy doesn't have it. And now Tom Brady is the cream of the crop, man. Tom Brady's great. I love listening to Tom in the booth. The insights, he's kind of funny. He's a fan. And you can tell he's a fan. That's what Tony Romo was. Now Tony Romo's too much of a fan. He's just rah-rah cheer guy, where like Tom Brady's offering some great stuff. And who better? Okay, Tony Romo, great career, right? Great career. Great regular season career. Had some playoff losses. Made some playoff games. Pro Bowls, all that. Might be a Hall of Famer. Borderline Hall of Famer, right? Hall, very good. Tom Brady played longer than anybody. Played more big games than anybody. Like, came from nothing, right? 6th-round draft pick. Like, the perspective Tom Brady has on the NFL and the game itself, the quarterback position, you name it, coaches, teammates, camaraderie, what it takes, like weather games, playing in New England. Like, he has perspective and knowledge and intimate details on literally every facet of the game of football that, like, I gotta give a shout out to Ray. He brought this up on one of the last streams. Like, Tom Brady didn't get where he was because he wasn't a hard worker. It's quite the contrary. Tom Brady is the hardest fucking worker. Dude has he's got the psycho gene, right? MJ had it, where he wants to be better than you. He's going to crush you. He's going to work harder than you. And Tom Brady had that in the field. Clearly has that in the announcing booth, right? He heard all the noise. He's a terrible announcer, all this kind of shit. And now Tom Brady's crushing it in the booth. And I'm telling you, he put the fucking work in, dude. So I just want to shout out Tom Brady, because I was one of those people last year on this very show that was talking a lot of shit about Tom Brady in the booth. And, I'll admit when I was wrong. Now, I'm not saying I was wrong. He was bad last year, but I thought there was no hope. But good for you, Tom. You know what? I always like Tom Brady. He's a likable dude, and he's clearly like leveled up as an announcer. So he's one of the best in the business, man. Yeah, I agree. Joe and Aikman are probably the best tandem. I'm not a big Joe Buck fan. I'm not saying he's not great. I just don't personally like Joe Buck. And maybe that's because I was a big Cubs fan in the past. Joe Buck's just kind of a pretentious dick. And I'm going to go back to the Randy Moss mooning, right? When he fake mooned, and Joe Buck getting all up in arms. Like, that's a disgusting act. Oh my God. Like, Joe Buck, fucking get over yourself, bro. That was a funny, like, it wasn't that disgusting. He acted like he pulled his dick out. Like, come on, Joe Buck. Like, that kind of stuff. He's kind of pretentious. That's my issue with Joe Buck. I do love Troy Aikman. What I love most about Troy Aikman is his honesty, man. Like, most, especially ex-quarterbacks, if you notice, most ex-quarterbacks are very hesitant to really give the business a quarterback playing a bad game, a CJ Stroud level game. Troy Aikman fucking says it straight. Maybe it's because he's been doing it so long, he doesn't care. but like I really appreciate the fact that he is he's unfiltered, right? He's gonna tell it the way he sees it. And I like that because who cares? I know the quarterback position is like a fraternity, and oh my gosh, like we can't say anything bad about our fraternity brothers. Like, yeah, you can, because if you play bad, you deserve to be talked shit about. And Troy Aikman knows something about that, because Troy Aikman's rookie year, by the way, not necessarily his fault. Bad team he got drafted to there in Dallas. 1 in 13? Because they played 14 games back then, whatever. Awful shit. He would have talked shit about himself. And sometimes that's the best thing a young player could get, right? You got to hear the noise, because you're going to hear it elsewhere. And in hearing it from Troy Aikman, you can maybe take something from that. So again, I do love Troy Aikman. Joe Buck, Kevin says he has an annoying voice. He's a pro, dude. Joe Buck can do anything. He's good in every sport. He's much better than I, but I would not get offended by a guy mooning when he didn't actually moon. And also, if he did moon, whoop-de-doo. We've never seen a butt before. Come on, dude. We've seen a lot of asses. Everyone has an ass. You know the book back in the day, Everyone Poops? Like, everyone has an ass. So sometimes Joe Buck makes me just want to fight him. You know, sometimes I just want to fight him. But I don't know. You think I beat him?
You stupid fuck! Go buy some sandals! Go buy some sandals! You want to fight? I'll fight you. I haven't fought in 10 years. I'll fight you. What you got? Let's see. Throw down, bitch. Throw down, bitch.
He wouldn't throw down, though. He's kind of old. Chris Collinsworth kind of gets on my nerves. I enjoy him. He's gotten a little worse. All he does is drool over Mahomes and drool over every quarterback he's listening to or watching. It's just kind of the axe kind of played out right now. Vane says Aikman, Montana, Bradshaw, Brady, GOATs. Troy Aikman did not play long enough. Tom Brady is the number one GOAT. I think Montana has to be up there based on success he had. Me personally, Aaron Rodgers in that discussion. I know it sounds crazy, only one Super Bowl. I don't care about Super Bowls as much as most. And Aaron Rodgers is I think Rodgers, maybe it's because of my generation, but Rodgers and Peyton Manning would be up there for me. Bradshaw, I think he had such elite talent around him. I can't even evaluate Terry Bradshaw, the quarterback, based on the era he played in. And yes, he has 4 championship rings, I believe. But I can't evaluate. Montana is definitely way better than Bradshaw. But Aikman, I feel like Aikman had a very, very good situation. He was very tough. I know that. He was a great leader, great arm. You know, he was the poster boy of a franchise quarterback. Good looking, tall, good talker, right? Had a rocket arm. But his numbers, eras are a thing, but like his numbers are bad. Very bad. For a Hall of Fame quarterback, he has the 3 rings. I get that. Best offensive line, probably one of the best offensive lines ever assembled. I want to go back to, like, in terms of like offensive lines for running the game, I go back to those John Riggins Washington teams, right, with the Hogs. But that offensive line they assembled there in Dallas with Michael Irvin, with Emmitt Smith, the all-time leading rusher. It was Moose Johnson with it was just a perfectly assembled team. And Troy Aikman was the engine of that team. I'm not saying he wasn't, but 3 Super Bowls, the numbers weren't great. Aikman's an all-timer, not on Mount Rushmore for me. That could be the case, Kevin. I hope it is. He says, didn't Romo get in trouble for saying what plays teams are going to run? Because remember how good he was at that the first couple of years? That sucks if they told him not to, because the problem is the other teams don't get that information, right? They're not on the sideline listening to the fucking announcer. So he shouldn't be. If he could call the play out. Like, that's not on him. And I feel like that stopped. Like, he whiffs on those now. He was hitting it fucking hard. So accurate. And like, it wasn't just like, oh, they're going to run up the middle. He was like making next level calls, because Tony Romo knows fucking football. Collinsworth sounds like someone stepping on a duck. His voice is not great. It's his son's worse though. How his son got a job. He's like on the halftime pregame shit on the sideline. Kind of looks like an ugly version of Ryan Gosling. Skinny, tall, ugly Ryan Gosling is what I call Collinsworth's son. He's even worse, but you know what? He's always gonna have a job. Sometimes people like him. By the way, I have an old video on my channel. We did a thing about Chris Collinsworth. There's a video. You can look it up either on my channel or go find the video of Chris Collinsworth when he was, I want to say it was his 3rd year in the league. So he was like 26 and talking about 13-year-old girls. Well, it was high school girls, and how he like high school girls love him, and he like goes out with high school girls. And it was the 80s, so it was a little different time back then, but it was very eerily similar to the Dazed and Confused Matthew McConaughey part. You know, I look about these high school girls, you know. I keep on getting older. They stay the same age. Like, he's dressed like McConaughey. He's got the long hair. Dude, it's wild shit. And luckily for him, that came out when it came out. He's since apologized for the video. It's just not a good look to say what he was saying and how he could. He says he could trick them. He likes it because he could trick them. Just really, really weird shit. And all I gotta say is that we know some of these celebrities that kind of flaunt that shit. Danny Masterson did this. You know, Bill Cosby did this shit forever, joking about the Spanish fly and drugging people's drinks, and it ends up coming true. So, like, I don't know, Chris Collinsworth, like, again, back in the 80s, you could definitely bang underage girls and get away with it. High school girls, right? But, like, it's illegal. And back then it was more frowned upon, I think. But bottom line is, go look up the video, man. You can find it on my channel, too. It's one of the more viewed videos. It's wild, man. And it's just like, hey, you know what? He came back from that shit. Dude, Tim Allen, you know, Tim the Toolman Taylor, the Santa Claus, Buzz Lightyear. Tim Allen got arrested. If you guys don't know about this, Tim Allen got arrested with, I think it was like 3 pounds of cocaine at was it an Iowa airport, Des Moines, Iowa? He was like a drug mule, and he got arrested with 3 pounds of cocaine in 77, I want to say. And he snitched on dudes. He snitched. Only did like 3 years in jail, in prison. And like somehow he managed to transform that experience into becoming the most like well-known family man actor that has ever happened. So like, you can come back from these things. And that was like, Collinsworth is more of a rumor, and it's like just a video clip. Like, Tim Allen 100% got arrested for 3 pounds of cocaine in an airport, mind you, which is much worse than in a car. Like, he's bringing it like to an airport. So if you guys didn't know about that, it's pretty crazy with Tim Allen. Ron says John Elway, Brady, Montana, and Marino. I would put Elway over Aikman for sure. Brady, Montana, Marino. You can't put Marino there. Marino, eye test wise, stats wise, era that he played in, he was ahead of his time. But 0 rings. Again, I don't really care about rings too much, but I got to put Aaron Rodgers over Marino just because the 1 ring. I know it's crazy to say 1 ring matters, but it really does matter. Al Michaels used to be the best, especially with John Madden. I still love Al Michaels, man. What a class act, dude. Jim Nance, I think, is one of my all-time favorites, just especially on the Masters call. Like, something about his voice is so soothing to me. And Al Michaels awesome, though, too. So those guys are like the all-time goats that aren't really necessarily specialists, right? You could just throw them in any sport, any situation, like limited prep. They're going to crush. So kind of how I am, right? I'm just going to crush any pod. I don't need any fucking topics. Give me whatever you got. I got you guys. Anyways, I'll answer a few more questions. The schedule the rest of the week's kind of up in the air since we have 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. See which guests want to come on when I can get people to come on. I will do shows. Otherwise, I will do a couple solo shows. We'll at least be on 3 or 4 times the rest of the week. So get a few more questions in for me, boys. Otherwise, we'll be seeing you soon. Before I get to the last couple questions, give you guys a little bit of time. If you're interested in supporting your channel, supporting your boy, obviously Super Chat's a good option, but a better option would be the Patreon, which is where you get access to a lot of good shit. Shout out to the Patreon members. Appreciate all you guys, man. Putting a lot into the show, and we made you guys a lot of money this year if you've been on the show for a while. Betting, fantasy, you name it, is not going to stop anytime soon. More than just supporting your boys, which is a big part here, is there's other perks too. Discord community. Discord's the place to be. 71 people strong. The community fantasy leagues. We're doing a dynasty startup this year. 2 spots available for that. On top of that, we're gonna have 5 or 6 redraft leagues this year. Different price ranges for whatever you guys want to play. Play against me, Storey, Ray, Chaz, Hastings, Nick O, all the co-hosts on the show. Play against each other. I'll set up all these leagues. It should be super fun. Talk about on the streams, as well as guest appearances on the show, man. I like to have fans on the show. So if you join the Fanatic tier, come on 2 or 3 times a year, talk ball with me and Storey. If you like a movie, you want to talk about a movie, we do some movies here in the off season. Whatever the hell you want to talk about. We're having Jason on for Tropic Thunder on Monday, his favorite movie. Storey and Ray love it. It's a good movie. I don't necessarily love it, but I'm going to host the show, and I know it pretty well. It's a good movie. I want to hate on it, but also free merchandise giveaways, guys. We're getting shirts here. Also, these hats. I sent out 4 hats today, and then I'm going to have shirts for $20, and that's including shipping. So you don't have to pay anything more than $20. You get the shirt shipped to you with the logo, represents, and the last perk is the bets, boys. 95 and 56 on the season. These are all even odds bets, nothing worse than minus 120. Usually minus 110. I do some plus odds bets as well. That's 204 and 123 career. We went 3-1 this past weekend. We're 9-5 in the playoffs, so pretty much up to par with the record. We've been crushing for 4 straight years here on the channel. Next year, we're bringing Storey in for the college bets, man. He's going to be getting 3 or 4 plays every Saturday. I'm not really a college guy. I'm not going to bet on stuff I don't watch. He's going to get you college bets. I got my 5 or 6 plays every week in NFL, which we continue to crush. I'm going to give out this bet, though, since this one's going to be fading fast. It's already down to plus 105. I had this right when it dropped at like 4 o'clock today. It's already at plus 105. Drake May and Sam Darnold each to have 15-plus passing yards in each quarter. Storey hates it. He hates these like predetermined bets, the specials they have on FanDuel. There's all the different specials. But me personally, man, I think the odds are too good to fuck with, man. That's plus 120. I feel like that's going to end up being like plus or minus 130. So I'm all in for those odds. If it's a close game, this hits automatically. Here's another long shot one that's not as great. This is a sprinkle. This doesn't count for my plays. The other one is an official play. Kenneth Walker and Stevenson have 5+ rushing yards in each quarter. Again, if the game stays close, that hits because TreVeyon Henderson is not playing football anymore. Jay, thank you. Patreon is the place to be. It is the place to be. It's the Discord is fun. It's very positive, right? We have some arguments, a lot of heated arguments about X, Y, and Z. You know, a couple of Eagles fans in there that like to go crazy about Jalen Hurts. We all talk shit to him, but at the end of the day, it's all done out of love. And if anyone gets out of line, you know, we don't talk too many politics. We can, you know, have some spirited discussions, but no hate speech, none of that bullshit, man. I don't stand for that. So appreciate you, Jay. Vane, appreciate you. We subscribed. Like you, man. Thank you. And let's see. Any last questions before I log off? Again, I don't know the schedule the rest of the week. I'll be posting in the Discord to let you know which days I will be going live and with who the guest will be. So just kind of stay tuned for that. You know, usual time is usually 10 o'clock p.m. Central. Play a clip here. Give you guys a second to if you have another comment or question. Here you go.
Hey, you ever accidentally masturbate to young pictures of your mom?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Simple Jack, the story of a mentally impaired farmhand who can talk to animals, was a box office disaster that many critics called one of the worst movies of all time.
Got a good brain.
I think you've got a fine brain, Jack.
You make me happy.
But now the question is, can speed...
Let's see. Gotta find the ending clip. Here you go. All right, guys. That's it for me. So again, don't know exactly the schedule the rest of the week, the next 2 weeks, since it's Super Bowl week. Kind of a weird, wacky situation going on here with 2 weeks to talk about one game. You know, we always fill the content up, though. So if you're not in the Discord, hop in, professionalfanatics.com. Hop in the Patreon, get in the Discord, and I'll be letting you guys know exactly when I'm going live. Otherwise, just subscribe, and you'll see it when I go live. Usually 10 p.m. every single night, probably just 3 or 4 nights this week, but you'll be seeing me. Appreciate you guys. Love your life. Stay positive and respect each other. I'm out of here.
Just seemed like a good dude. I thought I'd see if you wanted to grab a beer, that's all. I'm glad you called. We get home safe, Pistol.
You got it, Jobin.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
Oh, what'd you say?
I don't know. You nicknamed me Pistol, and I just called you Jobin. It means nothing. I'm drunk. I'm gonna call a cab.
All right, man. You have my number, yeah?
I got you stored in my iPhone.
All right. If you need me, call, okay?
Oh, man, I'm golden.
All right, I'm out of here. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't hit the end.